Hello, divine community. I'm just going to take a few moments to connect with my heart as I wait for people to join, and I encourage you to do the same thing, just to close your eyes, put your hands on your heart space, and just go within. Start to smile once you get that connection coming through. Big breath in and release. And another big breath in. 1, 2, 3, breathe in. And release. Hey, darling, is she asleep? I'm just doing a live. Hey, Farah, how are you? Just taking a moment to be connected in my heart space right now, and I encourage you to do the same. Whether you're out and about or sitting at home, just close your eyes and even just make that connection with your heart. Really connect with your body. Know that we are not ever forcing ourselves to breathe. You know, it's the magic that we have where our heart beats for us without us having to do anything, which is pretty fucking epic. If you're wanting something to be grateful for, just tune into the fact that our heart is doing things for us without us having to try to make anything happen. Isn't that epic? So I just wanted to come on and share a really quick message with you. I know that there is a lot of panic energy out there in the world right now, a lot of anxiety, a lot of uncertainty, and look, for good reason, okay? It's from one minute to the next. Darling, could you make a little less noise? The husband, sweetie. My beautiful husband making some muesli. Yeah, there's so much fear out there. It's like a fear storm. And if you're not careful, you're going to be adding to that fear storm and really breeding that fear with your own consciousness, because instead of putting your consciousness back onto your own heart and your own blessings and your own world of so many things that you can be grateful for right now, and for your life and for what you do have, it is very, very easy to get swept up in the hysteria where we're feeling like victims to this virus, when in actual fact, we are actually having the biggest wake-up call, in this lifetime. Have you ever been part of something like this? I sure as hell haven't. Absolutely not. We are being forced to wake up as a collective with our consciousness, right? The oceans aren't just going to heal themselves. This climate change isn't just going to get better. And right now we are being forced to stay at home, to go within, and to look deeper inside at what our true gifts are, what our true essence is, what our true nature is. There has never been a better time to actually do this deep, profound heart work, to really heal your past, to heal your belief system, to up-level it. This is about all of us. If you just imagine we're all computers, we're all being given completely new software. None of this I can't and hopelessness and victimhood energy and being run by anxiety and depression. No. That is not going to raise the frequency on this planet. It's not going to heal anything. Sak, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Sak, you've been single for 7 years and you're thinking that you will give up. Only thing I have to come back to is making a love manifestation list. The virus coverage has definitely swept me up and made me more sad. Yeah, this is my point for coming on today. Thank you for sharing that, Sak. At the end of the day, we all have a choice, and you're either going to be a prisoner to your phone or to the news on your TV and just let all of this information, all of this fear-mongering content sweep into your immune system and take over and add to this virus spreading, or you're going to stop yourself in your tracks and go, I am healthy, I am well, I have got brilliant immunity. I have a beautiful heart consciousness that's going to outweigh any of this fear hysteria that's going on. So, Sak, my message to you is why have you been single for 7 years? You're getting in your own way. And like I said to your comment the other day, beautiful one, you know, you just saying, I'm going to give up. Do you think that feels like a powerful thing to do right now? Does that make you feel good to say, I'm going to give up? I'm calling a spade a spade. That's how I roll in this life, in this community, because I'm not here to sugarcoat anything, because sugarcoating only leads to the same fucking outcome. Nothing changes. So this is an opportunity, should you choose to rise, Zach, to go, who am I being for myself right now? Am I being an advocate for myself to rise, or am I giving up on myself? Am I turning away from possibility and then inhaling fear and not enoughness? Hey, beautiful Laura, how are you, divine one? We can all make powerful decisions. My women that I work with, they are done with playing small. They are done with not getting what they want when it comes to love. They're done with not using their gifts. They're done with not having powerful self-expression. Right, Laura? Laura was such a gift when I spoke to her on the phone. She's like, please invite me in. She was just so gorgeous. She's now in Soul to Soul. And it's amazing my program's called Soul to Soul. I was reflecting about this morning because every single one of us around the globe are being called to connect with our soul right now, not with social media, unless you want to use social media for good and bring a powerful voice and really help to uplift people. We right now need to use social media productively. So I really invite you right now to look at, where are you putting your consciousness? Are you buying into the fear shitstorm, or are you saying, no, I am whole, I am connected to the divine. I have got possibilities at my fingertips. There are opportunities. Every single time there is adversity, there is a silver lining. In fact, I call it a gold lining. Every time, even when I had my miscarriages, I was like, what could be good about this? I've gone through, I've had death in my family. I've had miscarriages. I've had, you know, a couple of those, and they're heartbreaking, but I'm always looking at the glass being half full and going, what is this teaching me? How is this an invitation to deepen? And I'm already a very evolved soul. But even when the miscarriages happened, I didn't go, oh, why is this happening to me? Of course I didn't. That would have been a really easy thing to do. But I was like, wow, this is such an opportunity. As I'm leading these powerful women, it's important for me to understand what this feels like. It's important for me. I've also experienced very heightened anxiety. I've been in hospital with panic attacks. And I don't go, oh God, why is this happening to me? I was like, great. Now I have an understanding of what many of the women that come to me on how they feel. I've also worked in the corporate world to the point where I was having headaches, earaches, every ache under the sun, because it wasn't where I was meant to be. And I know what it's like to be sitting on my gifts and to be turning a blind eye to my greatness, like many of you are doing right now. I know what that feels like. It feels stagnant. It feels uninspiring. It feels heavy. And when we're not on our soul's path, we can't possibly attract in a soulmate relationship or really high frequency friendships. We end up in that complaining lane where we feel like life is being done to us, and it's victimhood. I've been there. I've lived in victim village. The coffee sucks there. People aren't friendly. You get in the car, it's got a flat fucking tire. Victim village. People in victim village are like, this always happens to me. Life is not fair. Oh no, this is happening again. That's the sort of commentary that goes on in victim village. And right now, victim village on a global scale is getting a big fucking wake-up call, because we need to rally the troops to get onto Abundance Hill. We need people being able to see what is possible, and that we're all in this together, and we could heal fucking everything once we band together with possibility. We can heal, you know, these starving children. We can heal the oceans. We can heal our hearts, and we can all experience love in this lifetime. Isn't that something to get excited about? But so many people are walking around in this broken consciousness. I don't believe that anyone is broken, but we can definitely be aligning with a broken consciousness, with a broken down belief system, with a broken down self-worth. You feeling me? I've been there. It feels horrible. It feels very isolating. It feels like you are living on your own island with population 1, you, right? It's horrible. It's stifling. And yeah, it's enough to keep you awake at night with these thoughts on autopilot of, oh my God, is this it? Is this my life? Am I going to always be alone? And then we add all this life force, this good quality life force and energy to the worst case scenario. And we put ourselves into a state of anxiety and fear and depression. But imagine if you started to use all that energy and you started to put it into what you do want and what is possible. And you started actually doing the deep heart work to let go of this version of you that is not serving you, that is not going to get you to your dream. You can't right now, many of you, fathom being in a soulmate relationship, but that's just because you're using the wrong software. It's like a computer. You've got the wrong software, right? It's like these new iPhones that come out all the time that's upgrading, up leveling. That's what I do in my life. I am constantly up leveling, constantly upgrading my consciousness, which is why I'm a powerful teacher, because I walk my fucking talk. There are so many people out there teaching about abundance and manifestation, and they're in lack. And the only reason that many of you aren't having your manifestations become a reality is because you're doing affirmations and maybe writing a list of what you want, but your inner world is plugged into so much lack and disbelief that you can actually have it. So it's not that manifesting doesn't work. It's not that abundance is not real. Abundance is really fucking real. But the reason that some of you get very frustrated with the law of attraction or very frustrated with not being able to manifest is because you're not actually getting the right support and doing the deep work to get you out of this poverty consciousness, out of this lack consciousness, out of this fear consciousness, out of that masculine way of being, which is I'm independent, I've got this, I'm not going to let anyone in unless they show me why I should trust them. That's very, very masculine. And underneath that is control. And underneath that is the fear of not actually being able to let love in. The fear of not being enough, where someone's going to love you back the way that you want them to. So you go around with all this kind of like, I am boss lady, I am powerful, I'm not going to let any man walk all over me. I mean, I know you don't talk like that, but it's that energy of like rigidity. And I've got this energy that's not fluid and lush and luxe. And that is the feminine energy that is inside all of us. But inside you girls right now, many of you, you haven't got your feminine activated. And that's why love feels really scary, because the feminine is all about trust. The feminine is all about allowing and receiving. And it's so fun being good at receiving. I used to be shithouse at it. I used to be that person I'm talking about. I used to be, a total control freak. I was terrified of love. I was totally leaving with my masculine. I had about 50,000 bodyguards. I was terrified of intimacy. I was terrified of vulnerability and really letting someone in. That goes all the way back to losing my father, because it was so painful on my little heart. And so that 8-year-old was running my relationships into my 30s, all the way through my life into my 30s and into my late 30s, until I went fucking no more. I am not willing to let this little girl run my life and have me miss out on one of the things I want most in the world, which is to have family, right? A conscious family, not just a family, but to have, an amazing soulmate husband where we're on the same path together, where it's very healthy and supportive and real. But in order for me to attract that in, which I did, I have, and I'm so grateful, it really took me saying no to that lower version of myself and not tolerating my own mediocrity and my own excuses. And it took me having to say, fuck off, fear. I'm not having you govern my life. Because at this rate, where I was living from, I was going to end up definitely with the wrong person. So all of us around the world are, I think I could pretty safely say most of the world are being quarantined right now. We're being told to stay at home. And I really invite you to look at what's important to you right now and to put the focus into you, into really once and for all doing the deep work. There has never been a better time to come and get supported with a tribe of amazing sisters who want to rise with you. You've got the time, right? And every one of us have the resources, right? There's no point in going into the fear story of worrying about the unknown. Right now, look at what you can do. You can absolutely make yourself a priority and get this support that's going to carry you through times like these. I've had so many people reaching out to me, Lucy, I know I came to you to meet my soulmate, but this freaking mindset work, this way of being that you helped me step into is serving me right now in the middle of this crisis. Thank you. And I'm just so grateful because they're now part of my community that we stay connected once I finish Soul to Soul, right? I'm so grateful to have this tribe of amazing women who I get to see all the time that are just going from strength to strength, because we need to multiply sisterhood. We need to all be stepping into our light, into our greatness, into our heart, into our feminine, our beautiful, divine feminine, into our sensuality, into our creatrix, our creative energy. And I really help you to express yourself unapologetically so that you're not letting the fear of judgment stop you from being who you really are. You're not going to go into relationships trying to make the man happy or be who you think you should be because you're so fucking lit about being who you are. Many of you don't know how to be who you really are. And this is what is keeping you small. This is what's keeping you single. You have no fucking idea who you really are. You're living this small version of yourself and you're addicted to the suffering. And you're actually addicted to not getting what you want. And Sra, I'm talking to you, darling. You are caught up in a whole world of suffering and victimhood and not enoughness. That's not who you really are. I don't have to meet you to know that. There's a reason you've been drawn to this community. And as I said on the last message, this is not a place to come in and talk about what's not possible. This is about igniting your queen, right? Your power, your true nature, your true essence, activating that, so that you can attract your king, but so much more than that. It's not just about the soulmate. It's about living on purpose. It's about doing you first, because until you make yourself the priority, you're never going to be the priority. And you're constantly going to be chasing validation. You're going to be chasing love outside of you from a place of lack instead of magnetizing it to you from a place of enoughness. Love isn't hard. It is not hard at all to attract your soulmate once you know how to show up in the world as 100% you. You're not even allowed to date in my program because it's not about learning how to fucking date or learning how to write a fucking profile. That is so top line. It's about connecting with your beautiful heart, getting out of here and making decisions from this space and activating that expansive energy inside of you, that power, that connection to the divine. And that's when your man is going to walk into your life, because he's going to be like, who are you? You seem so lit. You seem so grounded. You seem so in love with yourself. I want to hang around with you. And you're going to go, oh, let me see if I can fit you in. Instead of, oh my God, I'll rearrange my schedule to go and catch up with you. And then I'll figure out who the fuck I should be so that you like me. It's so exhausting living like that. I used to be that girl who was over-analyzing every single text message that I would get. Should I respond? Should I wait 2 days? Should I say this? Should I say that? Is this too much? Is that too little? And constantly looking at, how I should respond instead of just fucking being who I am. So by the time I met Anam and I actually really activated my heart space and really healed my fear of loss and that little girl who was really scared to let love in, when I met him, it was real me from day one. And he was like, whoa. He just knew I was just like totally unedited me, and he couldn't get enough of it. And listen, if he wasn't the right guy, then I would have repelled him, which would have been a good thing, because it's like making room for the right person to come into your life. And that was because it was about, do I like him instead of does he like me? I used to waste so much time with the wrong men trying to get them to like me when I didn't even like them. It's ridiculous. And many of you are doing that right now. You'll just go out with anyone because it's better than no one. What sort of consciousness is that? That's not you respecting and loving yourself. That's not you believing in the land of plenty and abundance. That's full-on scarcity. Or you might be like Sack. She's not the only one in here that wants to give up. Many of you have already given up. And you're out there on the apps, but there's no point on being on the apps because you gave up a long time ago. So even though you're out there with a pretty picture, your light is not on. You are like a taxi circling around New York City, but your light is not on. So the right man cannot get in your taxi. It's as simple as that. We are all energy, and you can't possibly trick the law of attraction. You're either vibrating with really allowing and receiving and feeling so deeply worthy, or you are living an act and you are pretending to be something that you're not, desperate in the hopes that someone is going to love you. But no one can love you until you learn how to do it for yourself first. And that means shining the spotlight on your insecurities, your wounds, your not enoughness, your inferiority, whatever it is. Abuse, trauma, really unhealthy family dynamics. We've all got stuff. Every single one of us in this community and definitely me, we've all got stuff. But are you going to let that stuff fucking hijack your happiness? Or are you going to deal with that shit and stare it in the face and say, I'm done? And when you're done, I can't wait to chat with you. But definitely, I will be saying very clearly right now, this community is not to dump. It is not to complain. Absolutely, it's to share something that you're going through, so that other women can, I can respond to you, and then other women can learn through that. But please don't come in here if you're wanting to talk about what's not possible and feeling like woe is me, because that's not helping you. It's not helping humanity. It's not helping the collective. This is about every single one of us taking responsibility to be the best fucking version of ourselves. And I am calling on you to step up and rise so that we can all together create this really healthy consciousness where we do get to live a life that we're in love with. We do get to have a beautiful soulmate relationship in this lifetime. We get to experience intimacy, support, love, fun, orgasms, connection. That's what we're here for. Love is the highest frequency. So if you're putting off love until you get your career where you want it to be, you're actually blocking abundance, because love brings abundance. It's the highest frequency you can possibly invite into your life. So really take that in. Stop cock blocking yourself when it comes to love. And if you can just hear one thing from this conversation, when you make yourself the priority and you invest in yourself to do whatever it's going to take to get the right support so you can rise, you're actually raising the entire consciousness. You're raising it for the people around you, your family, your friends, and you are starting to create alignment where the things that you desire can actually flow to you without you having to make them happen. There is nothing more heavy or unfun than feeling like you've got to make shit happen. It's the worst. It's such a breeding ground for anxiety. I mean, it's dark, it's dense, it's not inspiring. And many of you are keeping yourselves there with your thoughts, with your not enoughness, and with your boring victimhood consciousness. Hey, gorgeous Kaylee. Hey, Natasha. Great to have you here. Yes, Tash. Tash is such an inspiration. Seriously, I just saw Tash in my sisterhood group, and here she is now. Yes, Tash. I'd love for you to come on. Let's do a chat together, Tash, so I can brag about you. Tash is from New Zealand, and she's an extraordinary woman. When she came to me, she was so disconnected from her true power and the magnificence of who she was. And I saw it on that first phone call. I was like, darling, you're a fucking powerhouse. Let's get you back to your home, right? To your heart. And Tash, she did it. She fucking found a way, and she is one hell of an inspiring woman in the world right now. And she's just had a baby girl on her own, River. And River is, well, as I said to you, Tash, River has struck gold with you. What a lucky girl to have a mother who took the time to focus on herself, to get her consciousness where she needed it to be, so then she can step into being the most amazing mum. And what I've loved with Tash's journey is she's noticing how good she's become at receiving support and just receiving in general, because she really got out of that masculine, like that fight or flight, that struggle energy, and into her feminine. And look, it's a constant evolution. It's not like we just do the work and then we're done. I am constantly up-leveling, constantly upgrading my consciousness every single day, because, listen, we've spent a long time in our victimhood, right? So it's about really staying in this conversation around, the better it gets, the better it gets, and just committing to be the best version of yourself while you're on this planet. Don't underestimate the magnitude of how far that's going to travel into other people's lives. Yeah, people can breathe in your good vibes. And without you even noticing, you're going to be impacting a lot of people once you turn up your light and once you get your heart activated. It's going to feel so good for you. And I can't wait to meet those of you that are ready to do that. So woohoo to sisterhood. Yes to the collective. I can't wait to see you tonight on my Q&A. And big, big love.